Hey everyone, welcome to this live edition of Bull and Sound Productions. Today we're going to be working on a new single that I'm working on with one of the bands I'm in called Death Warrant. And today we're going to be editing drums. And as you can see here, some of these audio regions are in yellow. So I started a little bit of the drum editing, and I wasn't originally going to live stream this, but as I was going through it, I was like, I got to live stream this because there's some really cool things happening in this comping and editing process that I want to show you guys. So sometimes when I edit drums, I do something that I call block editing or block region editing. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, part of this drum performance, there's parts where there's really fast, crazy drum parts, and then there's parts where like the snare needs to be hit, but then the bell is doing like a blast beat kind of thing with it, and some of the times the snare and bells don't quite line up. So the way that I'm getting this to work the best for this editing and comping of this song is to kind of find the best blocks of regions within the performance, because it's doing a lot of the same stuff repeating, and taking that best performance, editing those 3 hits and then another 3 hits, editing it, and then I'm changing the clip color so that yellow for me in this context is what's working well in the editing process. So I want to play a little bit of it so you guys can hear what I'm working with here. And you're going to hear some inconsistencies, but this is just what the drums sound like raw. As you can hear, some wild, raw drums right now. There's no mixing. This is just the raw drum tracks and tracking through some Neve preamps. Using the UAD emulations, and they sound awesome. So also the something different that like I was noticing is, like, if you just solo these drums and you just hear this snare part, see how it's kind of thin, like non-existent? Another reason to keep all your takes, because in these other takes I found that these, let me go back to this, these just sound way bigger. You hear that? Hear that difference? Huge difference. What? Just way bigger, you know? So I'm using these regions, and I'm blocking them out to create kind of, create the performance so that it's truly like the best of the performance. Something else here is that we didn't record a kick because we were recording a whole nother album with our lead singer Jonah, who played drums on this song, and just based off like the time that we had and the way we decided to approach it, since he was still kind of getting used to the songs, was to not record a kick, and we're just going to have it programmed later. We just thought that would give like the cleanest drum sound, and we've done that I think once in the past, and it worked really well. So we decided to do that for this song as well. So I'm going to be re-triggering the kicks later because I already have everything plotted out in MIDI drums. Here's like a printed track of it if you guys want to hear this. So I'm basically going to be re-triggering the kick to play that later. But we're going to keep going through here and mixing these drums. Part of the reason too, like, I didn't want to record the kick if he didn't have it all rehearsed at the time, but we just needed to get the drums done. He knew the part, but like he was just the last song of the day, and his legs were getting a little tired. His beat performance, so this was like really crucial in this song to get it like really exact. So instead of recording kicks that were, just not as good as they could have been, we decided to take them out because when you play the kick drum, it's going to pick up in the overheads a certain way, where like it's really hard to get that out if it's not the exact performance that you want. So instead of doing it like that, we decided to take the kick out. There's a few times where he plays the kick in this song, yeah, like over here in the bridge, but the rest of the songs that are really precise and need to be super tight, we took him out for that part. So he can't actually play this. It's just that the timing and we did the whole rest of an EP before this, and then we got to this song. It was like, let's make sure we can use all these takes and get something really accurate that we really like. So we approached it this way. So basically, I'm mainly focusing on the snares, the overheads, and the toms right now. This part could be. I'm gonna see if I can find another block region for this part right here later in the song that was played with these bigger snares. Yeah, that's good right there. Do this one just in case. Damn, that whole thing is really good right there. I think I might just take that whole thing. Yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah, let's get these ones nice and locked in. So I'm just tab to transient, using tab to transient to get these all lined up. Okay, these played a little earlier here, so let's get this lined up. There we go. This here all looks a little early. The premise I'm using with this is, this isn't always how I edit drums, but like whatever in this section is hitting first, I'm just using it to kind of like grab the whole block of regions and then move it over. It's so fast and chaotic, it's really hard to use like Beat Detective to clip separate all these independently. This also keeps the phase relationship really nice between everything. Whereas if like I was separating all the drums independently to line up on the grids, it's going to sound a lot smaller because some of it's going to be out of phase because they'll all be hitting at the same time. Here it's like hitting with slight milliseconds, not at the same time, so it's not going out of phase between the snare and the overheads. See this? See that slight little bit right there of space? That's fine. That's good because on a live drum kit, we want that slight milliseconds of the time it takes the snare hit to reach the overhead mics above the drum kit. So it's going to sound more natural that way. All right, cool. It's starting to sound pretty cool now. Okay, so far so good. Get this a little more locked in. Interesting. It looks like it's hitting the bottom mics. Or the top mics. Oh no, that's just the high tom is doing a bit of a flam thing here. There we go. Nice. Alright, so now I can take this same block right here. Get it from the grid. And copy to the next part. See if it sounds better. It doesn't because it's the first hit and there's like a China bleeding over. Da-da-da. Alright, let's get this right on the grid here. Might be a little early. Move this over a bit here. Yeah, I didn't quite move this right. Try that. There we go. Well, all that attack, all that explosion. Sweet. Okay. Get all this. Nice. Sounding good. Alright, I might have the loop we need. Yeah, I might just copy all this. Sounds pretty smooth. Something going on here we gotta fix. Okay, we need that. There we go. Nice. Hear all that low end come back in there. Alright, this one's a little off. Well, maybe not, maybe not. Like, it sounds nice to the ears. I might want to get this a little more exact, though. By the way, I'm going to be reamping these guitars and possibly the bass too. And then for that point, I'll be getting more into mixing. Everything's still in a pretty raw state right now. Yeah, it sounds better a little tighter. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff going on right here. Let's take this all out. plan part seems a little bit off. I'm gonna keep moving here. Move this over a little bit. So I'm actually probably even gonna add like another China sample on top of the bell, maybe, if it sounds natural enough, because I think it might sound really like heavier. We'll see. Okay, so this isn't coming over all the way. Everything in yellow I consolidated, so there's nothing else to like stretch out. This won't go back anymore. I have to time stretch this. Do the TCE, the time compression expansion. See if that helps it. See if we can get this sound natural. Yup. Nice. Now we don't hear a little space there. Cool. Ooh, this is gonna sound sick, man. So this right here, I have a feeling there's something in the instruments that might be a little bit off. So I'm just gonna keep moving forward, not worry about that too much, because this is like right on the grid. That sounds pretty cool right there too. This was that section from before. I think that was just like slightly off. Yeah, gonna consolidate that. rest of this is actually like played pretty solidly, but snares here might be a little bigger than this take over here. So let's just hear what it sounds like starting off and see if the snares get smaller as we go, or like sound smaller as we go. I like all that the dynamics. It makes it sound a lot more real, which it is. See if we can get those like rides, bells, and snares a little more exact with each other. That one sounded all right. All right, so here we have a situation where you can see in the overheads the beginning of the snare hit right here and then the bell hit right here. For the sake of exactness, I mean, this sounds kind of cool, it kind of flamming on top of each other, but I just want to see what it sounds like adding, or not adding, but going right to where the bell hit is and moving that over. I want to see. Actually, is this on the grid? Looks like this is not on the grid. I mean, that already sounds better. Okay, now let's see what this sounds like. Now that bell's right on there. Sounds a little thinner though, because there are two things hitting at the exact same time. Let's hear it again without it. Yeah, it sounds fine like that. I'd rather everything sound really big. That's the thing, that's the weird trade-off with this. Like, do I want it to sound really exact or bigger? I think I'm gonna let this one go just because it's so, there's so much of it. Same thing with this one, it's a little flammy. I have a feeling once I add the snare samples on everything, it'll be a little easier to tell like how I want to approach this, so I'll come back to it later. Totally fine to leave for now. Oh, this one's cutting off a little bit too much attack, so I'm gonna pull this one back a little more. Like attack with a snare hit. Actually, so that fixed the attack, but I want a bigger snare hit there, so I'm gonna go back and take this one probably. Yeah, that one just sounds so much bigger and cooler. Ooh, Ooh, that's creating kind of like a cool little flam right there, that right here. But I actually like the sound of it. Like you hear the toms come out more. I like it. I'm gonna leave it actually. That sounds cool. Yeah, it sounds really dope. Getting a weird little thing right here. Okay, much smoother there. Okay, when he first did this snare roll, I didn't really like it, but because it was just different from the program drums, but I really like this snare roll now. It totally reminds me of something like Joey Jordison from like Slipknot would do right before the next section of a part. I'm digging it. You really hear like the crack and the ring of the snare in it too, which is really cool. Yeah, it sounds rad. I think this snare, I kind of like how it's like not right on the grid, but I might move this just so all these are a little bit closer to the grid. Yeah, it feels a little better coming into the next section. I don't know why it went right there, but it does sound kind of cool there. Sounds sick to me, man. Oh, he hit the kick drum right there. Okay, so I do have a little post-production explosion going on right here. I'm gonna take, oh, I guess we get the kick in the overheads. Alright, I'm just gonna take it out. Take it out of all these sections, just mute it. Whoa, it's a little loud in the snare right there, so we're gonna have to address that for sure. I got this little restream thing up here, so I'm gonna move my camera down here. So I'm just gonna go up to here. And then copy that. Interesting. Yeah, so it's 8 notes. Okay, now we're gonna copy all these. Command 0. Quantize audio clips to grid. Smooth it out. Cool. There we go. Boom. So yeah, half the reason I even copied and pasted the first half is so I can get rid of those super loud snares right here. Like we don't want that in this section. We want like kind of consistent snares the whole time, which is what he gave me right there. I know Jonah though, and I know he probably will love the sound of these, so maybe there's a way to copy those snares into all those places. So for example, these are all really good sounding right here, but I know he loves that crack, so knowing that ahead of time. All right, let's see what these sound like. Copy that to there so we get a little bit more consistent snare hits. Kind of like the sound of this snare the most. Just see what happens when I do it like this. Wait. All right, let's time align all these first. And then do this. I mean, it sounds a little artificial. Maybe there's 2 hits we can get. That'll probably help it. Oh. Try like this. Try that. Yeah, it sounds a lot better. Alright, so now it's AB, this first one with these smaller snares compared to the bigger snares here. I think we already know what the answer is. Yeah, I love these big snares. I know Jonah's gonna love it too, so. Alright, you know what we're doing. Alright, so I'm actually gonna send. I'm gonna copy all these to a new playlist. There we go. This has actually got to peel back right here. Oh, right here. There we go. All right, now there should be like a cymbal hit right here, so let's see if we want to bring that back in. Nah, because then we won't get these snare hits. All right, I'm just gonna bring in a cymbal sample right here. I have to do that a few times throughout this. Cool thing about adding cymbal samples is that this actually always sounds a lot better than I think it's gonna sound. There we go. Kind of sounded good right in the center for whatever reason. So. That sounds cool. Later, I'll probably add this to like a reverb bus that the drums are all going through, just so it sounds a little more natural. Probably add like a little reverb to it now, though. I don't know. I might like it without this. Yeah, I like it without it. Yeah, and then once I add the reverb to it, it's gonna sound really natural. So it's gonna share the same reverb on the drum bus that everything else is sharing later once I start mixing it. Turn it down a little bit more. Yeah, we'll hear that extra decay from the reverb send too. There we go. Sounds nice. Sounds like pretty much part of the same drum kit. So we could take another part from back here. Might sound really cool right here. Yeah, it did sound pretty cool. Gotta edit this, I guess. Good catch. I'm surprised I didn't edit this one yet. No biggie. Cool. That's pretty cool. Only thing is there should be a cymbal bleeding over this. I can't take that out there. I could add this cymbal here again, this little crash sample. Yeah, it sounds pretty natural. But let's just see what bringing back the first half of this sounds like. So I kind of like it. It sounds a little bit more like chaotic, actually. Oh, he didn't even hit a cymbal going there anyways, but this crash sounds a little more natural with the way this bleeds in for whatever reason. Kind kind of like how chaotic it sounds right here. Might leave that alone and just like tighten this up. See what's going on right there in the middle. More flammy stuff happening. See if we can find a tighter one that played before this. This one's a little tighter. That definitely sounds a little better there. I'm gonna turn up the snare hits too. Right here. I feel like this could all be just louder. Might sound cool if they kind of like gradually got a little louder. Sounds cool. That sounds really nice. Oh, I love how sloshy that hi-hat is. It's gonna sound sick when it's all edited. Sweet. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's gonna about do it for me today. I'm gonna continue working on these drums maybe a little later today, a little bit throughout the week. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of that in that video. Hope you really enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this content. And I will see you guys next time. See you later.